Thank you for tuning in to the Uche Orai Show. I'm your host, Mr. Uche Orai. Today's topic is going to be on legacy. What is legacy? Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines legacy as a gift by will, especially of money or other personal property, something transmitted by or received from an ancestor or a predecessor from the past. Now, let's just say pretty much the definition of legacy is something left behind. In the human sense, we'll say it's how you're remembered after you've moved on from this world. Now, the topic of legacy is not something that everybody thinks about, although they should. People who understand that their being here is not just for them, but it's actually for those that are to come after them. So I'll just say this message is directed to those people. It's some of us that understand that what we do or fail to do will forever impact those that come after us. Now, you have to understand that when you think about a legacy or your legacy, you have to think about it like this. When you drop a rock in the river, or when you drop a rock in a bucket of water, the water ripples from the point where you drop that rock all the way to the edge of the bucket and back towards the middle. It pretty much goes to say that your actions or inactions affect you, your next generation, the generation after that, and so on and so forth. Sometimes you don't know how far out it affects, your lineage, if you would look at it like that. Now, what can you hope to get from this conversation? What can you hope to get from this video? One of the things that I hope that you get from this is that you should look at your actions as something that may not only affect you. You should look at how you live your life as something that may not only affect you. Okay? So every now and then I'm going to do a couple, videos on this topic. It may even evolve into another channel, but in the meantime, I'll just keep it to the channel that I currently have, the one that you all are currently watching right now. And, we'll mix this in with the politics every now and then, but this is, a non-political discussion, and I hope that you enjoy it. One of the reasons that I've been moved to talk about this topic is in light of Joe Paterno. As you know, Joe Paterno was a famous Penn State coach. He's been, coaching at Penn State for almost 40 years. Joe Paterno had to leave his post after one of his head coaches, Jerry Sandusky, it came out that he had, molested some of the kids that had come to the school, or the kids that he had come encounter with, boys. And Joe Paterno had been caught up in that investigation because it came to light that he was aware of it. Now, an investigation was done on the Penn State heads and the football program, and it showed that some of those in charge at Penn State, the president, I believe, or some of the people, as well as Joe Paterno, knew about this and chose not to report it because of the embarrassment it may bring to the institution. Now, the sad thing about all this and why it's prompted me to do this video is because while the investigation was going on, Joe Paterno passed away. And ever since then, his legacy, his reputation, his integrity have all been questioned. The sad thing about it is that Joe Paterno is not here to defend himself. Now, why this ties into the topic at hand is that you have to do things the right way. You have to carry yourself when you're thinking about your legacy, or when you're legacy minded, you have to keep in mind that every action you take has to be the right cause of actions up until your dying day. Now, the way this life works out, we don't know when we're going to pass. God could call us home at any moment. You could be doing the simplest task and you just keel over. You have to do the right thing up until that very moment. Because if you passed doing the wrong thing, or if something wrong happened and you never got a chance to rewrite it, and you leave this world, other people are going to write that story for you. That's what's happening to Joe Paterno right now. With all the accomplishments he had at Penn State, with all the notoriety he brought to that institution, what he's being remembered for is what he failed not to do. And that was to report Jerry Sandusky. That was to see that Jerry Sandusky was punished for his actions, or to just merely speak up and stand up for the right thing. Now, if the powers that be at Penn State chose not to do the right thing, it wasn't on him. But the emails showed that he had something to do with the cover-up, and many other kids possibly got hurt because of his inaction. So when you think about your legacy, and you know that you want to leave this world as remembered as a man of integrity, then just understand that anytime you are approached with the wrong action, or you perceive the wrong action, you have a duty to speak up. I think it was Edmund Burke that said, all that's necessary for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. And sometimes doing nothing ends up reflecting on you. You end up paying for it, with your legacy being tarnished while you're in the grave, and you can't do anything about it. So I just want to leave y'all with that. And like I said, this message is not for everybody. Not everybody goes to sleep at night thinking, how will I be remembered? Not everybody goes to sleep at night thinking, did I do everything I can to leave this world better than it was before I came in it? Did I correct some wrongs that I watched all my life, wished I could do something about, but then God blessed me with the ability to do something about it, and I did. That's who this message is for. And as I follow up on these series with other videos about legacies, or analysis on how you can be more legacy minded, or even highlight some people who, lived a good legacy. Like I said, this topic is so important to me, and I am somebody who, take how I want to be remembered into consideration. And to keep myself focused on that, I even had, the word legacy tattooed on my arm, if y'all can see it. Now, everybody doesn't have to do this. This was my way of every now and then when I get distracted or I lose focus, I look down on my wrist and I regain my focus just like that. And I keep pushing towards doing the right thing in all areas of my life, and trying to leave this world better off than it was before I came in it. I want to thank you very much for tuning in to the Uche Ora Show. Do subscribe to my channel, and thank you for your time.